is your path, live, with Bishop Mark, live from Dallas Universal Life Church in Dallas, Texas.
Well, good evening and welcome to Your Path Live with Bishop Mark. I'm your host, Bishop Mark Zorn, coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, and Dallas Universal Life Church, as we do every Wednesday evening. Welcome to the show. As you know, this is a call-in show. This is a show about you. That's why it's called Your Path Live with Bishop Mark. What does that mean? Well, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about your day, your Christianity, your faith, your relationships, and we can pray also. Now, how do you get in touch with me? That's very simple. There's a little thing scrolling across the bottom of your screen there. You just type that in, tinyurl.com/Bishop Mark, tinyurl.com/Bishop Mark, or you take the phone. My phone now. Here it is. Take my phone, and my phone's a new phone, folks. Look at that. Check that out. Pretty cool, huh? You take the phone, you go up here, and you see that little QR code right there on the screen. You go to camera, and you bring your camera, and you push the little link that comes up when you hit that, and it'll take you right into our green room where I'll be talking to you here shortly. Give me a call. I want to hear from you. This was the show's about you. Now, of course, every week we do have a topic we talk about. I mean, this week is no different than any other week. We're going to have another topic, and we're continuing our series this week on ashes, rising from the ashes. And we got a good one tonight, folks. So get ready for this. Don't forget, call in right there. That link right across the bottom of your screen. And then, of course, the QR code if you wish to use that as well. All right, let's get right down to it. So, all right, we are not rushing tonight. Okay, I'm going to take that really literally because I have a habit of doing that. So let's not rush tonight. Let's slow everything down. Wherever you are right now, wherever you are, pause for a second. Because this is one of those nights where if you actually listen, it's going to hit something real. Let me start gently. Not intense yet, not loud, just honest. Some of you have been asking God for change for a long time. Not casually, not once or twice. I'm talking about repeated prayers, late night thoughts, quiet conversations with yourself, moments where you said, something has to shift. And if you're honest, you've seen glimpses, small changes, little movement, but not the full shift, not the breakthrough you expected. And that creates a very specific feeling, not total despair, but not peace either. It's that in-between place where you know you're not where you were, but you also know you're not where you're supposed to be. And that tension, that quiet frustration, that internal question of why hasn't this changed yet? Let me give you an answer that most people would avoid. You are not stuck. You are not blocked. You are not waiting on God. You are holding on. And I'm not going to rush past that tonight because that sentence alone, if you actually sit with it, can change everything. And of course, if you're just joining in, we are working on our series just from the ashes. And tonight we're dealing with one word, and that one word is surrender. Because before anything changes externally, something has to shift internally. Before sacrifice, before the cross, before resurrection, there is surrender. Let's go deeper than definitions. Let's talk about what surrender actually is at its core. Surrender is not behavior first. Surrender is authority. Boy. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break, folks, because I have to take care of something. I'll be right back.
The Zoo Radio Network exists for one reason: to reach people where they are with music, conversation, and truth that still matters. In a world full of noise, the Zoo is a place for connection, reflection, encouragement, and real talk about faith, life, and purpose. Hi, I'm Sean, and I want to tell you a little more about who the Zoo Radio Network is. We are not backed by corporations. We are not driven by profit. We are powered by people. Your support keeps the Zoo broadcasting not only great Christian music, but also modern pop, classical, country, and live programming that speaks to real life. It allows us to produce shows like Your Path Live with Bishop Mark, stream worship services, amplify unheard voices, and remain accessible to anyone who needs hope. no paywall, no barriers. So, why does your support matter? Running a radio network takes more than passion. It takes broadcasting and streaming infrastructure, music licensing and royalties, studio equipment and technical support, website hosting and digital platforms, outreach, promotion, and community programming. Every dollar given goes directly into keeping the zoo strong, stable, and growing. This is more than radio. The zoo is ministry without walls. It reaches the lonely at night. It reaches the seeker who won't walk into a church. It reaches the believer who needs to be reminded they're not alone. When you give, you are not just funding a station. You are investing in lives being touched every single day. How can you help? We have a program designed so that all can give without breaking the bank. One-time gift, make an immediate impact. Monthly partner, become part of the backbone of the zoo. Sponsor a program or hour of airtime. Dedicate it in honor or memory of someone meaningful. No gift is too small. Every gift moves the mission forward. Stand with us. Keep the signal alive. If the zoo has encouraged you, challenged you, comforted you, or helped you feel connected, now is your chance to give back. Support the Zoo Radio Network today and help us continue broadcasting hope, truth, and real faith into a world that desperately needs it. Give, share, be part of the voice. Visit www.yourdallas.church and go to the Donate tab to make your tax-deductible donation today. Thank you from all of us at the Zoo Radio Network.
Okay, and welcome back to Your Path Live with Bishop Mark. I'm sorry about the early break there. We had a little chihuahua outside deciding he wanted to chime in today. So, had to take care of that. Hopefully, we got it taken care of. Let's get back to where we were. This is a very serious conversation, folks. It's a very serious topic, and I do want to make sure we are on it. Don't forget to call in. There's that link across the bottom of your screen, and of course, the QR code right there. Never ends. Okay. Of course, now my lighting's all messed up. All right, just ignore the fact that I look like a ghost, and we'll just keep on going here. So, surrender. Let's go deeper than definitions, and let's talk about what surrender actually is at its core. Surrender is not behavior first. Surrender is authority. It answers the question, who is in control? Now, not who you say is in control, not who you believe is in control, who is actually making the decisions. James chapter 4, verse 7 says, submit yourselves then to God. Submit. Submit. That word alone creates tension because it means you don't get final say anymore. Romans chapter 6, verse 16, you are slaves to the one you obey. Now let that sit for a second. You don't belong to what you say you follow. You belong to what you obey. That changes everything. So if you say, I follow God, but your decisions say otherwise, then surrender hasn't happened yet. You're still in control. Let's walk this out slowly. Someone knows they need to leave a situation. They've known for months, maybe longer. They've prayed about it, talked about it, thought about it. But every time the moment comes, they hesitate. Why? Because leaving means uncertainty, discomfort, loss of familiarity, stepping into something unknown. So instead of surrendering, they stay. And then they say, I don't understand why I feel stuck. Well, that's not confusion. That's resistance. Clarity is not your issue. Courage is. Now let's slow this down even more, because this is where people begin to feel it. You're tired. Not just physically, mentally tired, emotionally tired, internally tired. And here's the key. You can't fully explain why. Let me explain it clearly. You're tired from holding on to what God told you to release. Psalm 55, chapter 22. Psalm 55, verse 22. Cast your burden on the Lord. Not manage it, not carry it better. Cast it. Imagine holding a heavy bag. At first, it's fine. You adjust. You manage. Then it gets heavier. But instead of putting it down, you shift it to the other hand. Then your shoulder. Then both hands. And eventually, you don't even question carrying it anymore. And that's how people live. So what are you carrying right now that you were never meant to hold? If you're just tuning in, we're talking about surrender. And here's the truth. You are exhausted because you won't release. Let's break this tension open. Everything comes down to this: control versus trust. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7 through 8. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. Trust leads to stability, but control leads to anxiety, because you're trying to manage outcomes you were never designed to control. Let's walk through this slowly. Someone wants certainty before making a decision. They say, I just need to know how it's going to work out. So they wait. But what they're really saying is, I don't trust unless I understand. And God is saying, you won't understand until you trust. And so they stay stuck. Not because God isn't moving, but because they won't step. Faith moves first. Understanding follows. Now let's stay here a little bit longer, because this is where most people live. You know what to do. You do, but you delay. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 4. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Translation: if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never move. You say, I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll do it when things calm down. I'll do it when I feel more confident. And later becomes your lifestyle. Later. I'll do it later. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. Here's the truth. You're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. So let's even go even deeper than that. Under everything, underneath all of this we're talking about, is fear. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Fear keeps you from moving. Faith moves you forward. Someone stays in a situation they've outgrown, not because it's right, but because it's familiar. And familiar feels safer than unknown, even when it's not better. You are choosing familiar pain over unknown freedom. Luke chapter 22, verse 42. Before the cross, there was a decision. Before the sacrifice, there was surrender. Jesus knew what was coming fully, and he still said, not my will, but yours. That moment teaches you that surrender is not easy. Surrender is not comfortable. Surrender is not logical. It's chosen. Where is your not my will, but yours? Stay there. Luke chapter 9, verse 23. Take up your cross daily. Daily means when you don't feel like it, when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable. Daily surrender is choosing patience when frustrated, choosing integrity when pressured, choosing truth when hiding is easier, choosing discipline when tired, choosing obedience when uncertain. What you won't release, get this, what you won't release, you will repeat. Well, I did not write a long enough thing here for today. Okay, that's all right. We're going to talk. Surrender is pretty straightforward, folks. I mean, look, it's about letting go. It's about letting God. I mean, how many times do we say it? Let go and let God. Let go and let God. So what we'll do is we'll finish this out early, and we will talk a little about something else. I kind of found a funny feeling this was not going to be long enough. So here we go. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about surrender. And again, here's the truth. What you won't release, you will repeat. You will repeat. Next week, we're talking about obedience. And then the next week after that, sacrifice. And then one more week, and we have resurrection. Coming to the close, we're getting down to that nitty-gritty time of our Lenten journey here. Holy Week is coming up, just a very short time. We'll have Palm Sunday and Maundy Thursday and Good Friday. And we have services on all those days. Let me just tell you about that really quickly. I have not set the times yet, but I'm sure that, I actually can tell you the times. On Sunday for Palm Sunday, it'll be a regular time, 3 p.m. start time. And that's at dulc.online.church. That's where you catch that 3 p.m. on Sunday. We'll have our Palm Sunday services. Very, very nice, very beautiful service. Then on Thursday that week, which is Holy Week, we will have the Maundy Thursday. That'll be at 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. on that Thursday, Maundy Thursday. That's celebrating the Last Supper. And then, of course, my favorite service of the entire year is Friday, Good Friday. That'll also be at 6:30. And that's a candlelight service. It's beautiful. If you've never seen our Good Friday service, I suggest you come to that. Again, it's on dulc.online.church. And, of course, that Sunday is Easter Sunday. We'll have regular services starting at 5:30 for the regular services that day. We just start a little later on that day because we have family members that have other churches and things like that they want to go to. We want to give everybody a chance to do their thing and then come watch us or be with us and be with their family here. So that's that. That's what that is. Now, of course, coming up this week, let's talk about that real quick while we're talking about all this. Friday, we have the official starts of the weekend with Bishop Mark. That's our radio show, and that's at thezue.net, thezoo.net, thezue.net at 5 p.m. on Friday. And that's just a way to kind of bring in the weekend, relax, maybe hear some good tunes and, let the week go. Now, of course, this coming Sunday, we do at 3 p.m. have your Exploring Your Faith live with Bishop Mark, followed by the Bishop's Roundtable. And that's at 3 p.m. on Sunday at dulc.online.church. And then, of course, coming back next Wednesday, we'll be back here again for Your Path Live with Bishop Mark. And that's right here at yourpath.online.church. Okay, got that out of the way. All right. So what you won't release, you will repeat. Next week is obedience, then sacrifice, then resurrection. So surrender, obedience, sacrifice, resurrection. This is some critical stuff here we're talking about. So you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go back through this again because I feel like I went through it too quickly. We'll just go through it again. No big deal. Back up here. Getting there. Seems like it's a lot. It's not. It's all spread out. It's kind of crazy. Okay, here we go again. I want to bring this up. I just want to go through it again because I think it's that important. I think I went through it too quickly. I want to go through it again. We got the time to do it, so let's do it. All right. See, my first thing I said on here was we're not rushing tonight. And what did I do? I rushed right through it. So let's slow everything down again. Wherever you are right now, wherever you are, pause for a second. Because this is one of those nights where if you actually listen, it's going to hit something real. Let me start gently. Not intense yet. Not loud, just honest. Some of you have been asking God for a change for a long time. Not casually, not once or twice. I'm talking about repeated prayers, late night thoughts, quiet conversations with yourself, moments where you said something has to shift. And if you're honest, you've seen glimpses, small changes, little movement, but not the full shift, not the breakthrough you expected. And that creates a very specific feeling. Not total despair, not peace either. It's in that in-between place where you know you're not where you were, but you also know where you're not where you're supposed to be. And that tension, that quiet frustration, that internal question of why hasn't this changed yet? Well, let me give you an answer that most people avoid. You are not stuck. You are not blocked. You are not waiting on God. You're holding on. And I'm not going to rush past this tonight because that sentence alone is, if you actually sit with it, can change everything. Because before anything changes externally, something has to shift internally, before sacrifice, before the cross, before resurrection, there is surrender. Let's go deeper than definitions. Let's talk about what surrender actually is at its core. Surrender is not behavior first. Surrender is authority. It answers the question, who is in control? Not who you say is in control, not who you believe is in control, who is actually making the decisions. James chapter 4, verse 7, submit yourself then to God. Submit. That word alone creates tension because it means you don't get the final say anymore. Think about that for a second. You don't get the final say anymore. What? What do you mean I don't get the final say? I make the right decisions. I'm my own man. I make my own decisions, right? Right? That's the hard part. Letting go of that making my own decisions attitude and getting to letting God make those decisions and then abiding by those decisions, because you don't get the final say anymore. You are slaves to the one you obey. Romans chapter 6, verse 16. And let that sit for a moment. You don't belong to what you say you follow. You belong to what you obey. I'm a Christian, so I'm a Christian. I tell you right now, this is one of those things that's you walk the walk, don't just talk the talk, folks. You can say whatever you want to say. It's your actions that are going to tell you what you obey and make it very clear about what you obey or who you obey. And that does change everything because you belong to what you obey. So if you say, I follow God, but your decisions say otherwise, then surrender hasn't happened yet. You're still in control. What do you mean? I'm still, I'm in control. That's what I do. I'm in control. So I'm trying to tell you, let go. Now let's walk this out slowly. Someone knows they need to leave a situation. They've known for months, maybe longer. They prayed about it, talked about it, thought about it, ad nauseum. But every time the moment comes, they hesitate. Why? Because leaving means uncertainty, discomfort, loss of familiarity, stepping into something unknown. So instead of surrendering, they say, I'm just going to stay. And then they say, I don't understand why I feel stuck. That's not confusion. That's resistance. Let me make that a little more clear to you. Let's just do this. Husband and wife are in a relationship. The relationship is tumultuous. It's nothing but fighting, and neither one of them is getting anywhere. They both are at a standstill. They just aren't. It's just not working. The wife has thought about this. And she's prayed about it, and she knows that she needs to leave. It's time to go. She's got to get out of there because it's just getting. They're both bringing each other down. But to do that would mean leaving her home, finding someplace else to live, worrying about, if who's going to keep the car if they only have one car, or who's going to keep this or who's going to keep that. How's she going to get to work every day if she doesn't have the car? Who's going to have the kids back and forth, the la-di-da? Even if they don't have any of that, there's all those decisions to make. You had a life together with this person. Now you got to break it all up. And that's uncertainty. That's discomfort. That's loss of familiarity and stepping into something unknown. Well, it's easier just to go through the motions every day because you're used to it now. You go to work, you make your paycheck, and you pay the bills, and you fight. And it's become a part of life. But are you happy? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Are you growing? Are you being a man and woman for others by doing that? No, because you're too caught up in the crap that you have going on at home. So instead of surrendering, they stay, right? And they say, I don't understand why I feel stuck. Well, that's pretty simple, folks. That's not confusion. That is resistance. You know you're not supposed to be there. Get out. You've prayed about it. You've thought about it. You've talked to people about it. It's all come down to this. Time to go. Am I going to go, or am I going to sit back on my lazy boy and eat my TV dinner and go to sleep and go to work next morning? Because it's easier. Or I'm going to pack. Clarity is not your issue. Courage is. You're tired. not just physically, mentally tired, emotionally tired, internally tired. And here's the key. You can't fully explain why. Let me explain it clearly. You are tired from holding on to what God told you to release. Psalm 55, verse 22. Cast your burden on the Lord. Not manage it, not carry it better. Cast it. Cast it. Imagine holding a heavy bag. Again, imagine holding this heavy bag. At first, it's fine. You adjust, you manage, then it gets heavier. But instead of putting it down, you shift it to your other hand, then your shoulder, then both hands. And eventually, you don't even question carrying it anymore. That's how people live. Is that how you live? What are you carrying right now? What you're never meant to hold on to. Now's the time to talk about it. Call in. There's that link on the bottom of your screen. Oh, the QR code up at the top left of the screen. That only works if you're live, folks. So we do. If you're watching the recording of this, you're watching the rerun. I'm afraid that the link won't work for you there. So try next week, next Wednesday at 5:30 Central Time for your Path Live Christian Work, and come in live and talk to us. That's how you do that, though. I'm waiting to hear from you. Uh-oh. See, I get rushed. I don't turn on my do not disturb, and everything starts to come crazy here. Let's see if I can turn that off real quick. Maybe. It's over here somewhere. Yep, easy way to do it. Right here. There we go. That went up again. All right, where are we? So if you're just turning in, like I've said again and again, we're talking about surrender tonight. Surrender. And here's the truth. You're exhausted because you won't release. Now let's break it open. Let's get this tension out, work it out a little bit. Everything comes down to this: control versus trust. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7 through 8. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. Trust leads to stability, but control leads to anxiety, because you're trying to manage outcomes you were never designed to control. Let's walk through this slowly. Here we go. Someone wants certainty before making a decision. They say, I just need to know how it's going to work out. So they wait. But what they're really saying is, I don't trust unless I understand. And God is saying, you won't understand until you trust. And so they stay stuck. And they say stuck not because God isn't moving. It's because they won't take that step and move themselves. Faith moves first. Understanding follows. Now let's stay here just a bit longer, because this is where people most people live. You know what to do. You do, but you delay. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 4. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Translation: if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never move. You say, I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll do it when things calm down a bit. I'll do it when I feel more confident. And later becomes your lifestyle. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. You're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. Now, under all of this, under everything here is one thing, and that's fear. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Fear keeps you from moving. Faith moves you forward. Someone stays in a situation they've outgrown. Not because it's right, but because it's familiar. We've talked about this. And familiar feels safer than the unknown, even when it's not better. You are choosing familiar pain over unknown freedom. Luke chapter 22, verse 42. Before the cross, there was a decision. Before the sacrifice, there was surrender. Jesus knew what was coming fully, and he still said, not my will, but yours. That moment teaches you Surrender is not easy. Surrender is not comfortable. Surrender is not logical. Surrender is chosen. So where is your, not my will, but yours? Stay there. Okay. We're going to take another quick break here, folks, and go to a commercial. It might be the same commercial you saw a minute ago. That's okay. We'll be right back after this. If I can find the button. There it is.
Dallas Universal Life Church, led by Bishop Mark, has cultivated a unique approach to Christianity that emphasizes selflessness, an open dialogue with God, and service to others. The church's values are centered around being men and women for others, and they actively seek out opportunities to serve their community. Bishop Mark's leadership approach is refreshing, encouraging people to have raw and honest conversations with God and promoting an inclusive relationship with the divine. Their belief in accepting all beliefs and ideologies and recognizing the path to God is unique and fosters an environment of inclusivity and acceptance. In today's world, where divisiveness seems to be the norm, Dallas Universal Life Church offers a refreshing and inspiring approach to faith. Their values of selflessness, service, and inclusion are a testament to the positive impact that religion can have on individuals, communities, and society as a whole.
For more information about Dallas Universal Life Church, please visit www.yourdallas.church.
The Zoo Radio Network exists for one reason: to reach people where they are with music, conversation, and truth that still matters. In a world full of noise, the Zoo is a place for connection, reflection, encouragement, and real talk about faith, life, and purpose. Hi, I'm Sean, and I want to tell you a little more about who the Zoo Radio Network is. We are not backed by corporations. We are not driven by profit. We are powered by people. Your support keeps the Zoo broadcasting not only great Christian music, but also modern pop, classical, country, and live programming that speaks to real life. It allows us to produce shows like Your Path Live with Bishop Mark, stream worship services, amplify unheard voices, and remain accessible to anyone who needs hope. No paywall, no barriers. So, why does your support matter? Running a radio network takes more than passion. It takes broadcasting and streaming infrastructure, music licensing and royalties, studio equipment and technical support, website hosting and digital platforms, outreach, promotion, and community programming. Every dollar given goes directly into keeping the Zoo strong, stable, and growing. This is more than radio. The Zoo is ministry without walls. It reaches the lonely at night. It reaches the seeker who won't walk into a church. It reaches the believer who needs to be reminded they're not alone. When you give, you are not just funding a station. You are investing in lives being touched every single day. How can you help? We have a program designed so that all can give without breaking the bank. One-time gift, make an immediate impact. Monthly partner, become part of the backbone of the Zoo. Sponsor a program or hour of airtime. Dedicate it in honor or memory of someone meaningful. No gift is too small. Every gift moves the mission forward. Stand with us. Keep the signal alive. If the Zoo has encouraged you, challenged you, comforted you, or helped you feel connected, now is your chance to give back. Support the Zoo Radio Network today and help us continue broadcasting hope, truth, and real faith into a world that desperately needs it. Give, share, be part of the voice. Visit www.yourdallas.church and go to the Donate tab to make your tax-deductible donation today. Thank you from all of us at the Zoo Radio Network.
Okay, welcome back to Your Path Live. Bishop Mark, I'm your host, Bishop Mark Zorn, coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, from Dallas Universal Life Church, as we do every Wednesday evening at 5:30 Central Time. Welcome back again. If you'd like to call in, that little blue line at the bottom of your screen there says go live with Bishop Mark, and it says tinyurl.com/Bishop Mark. Just go to that, come to my green room, and we'll be glad to chat with you. I want to talk to you about your life, your Christianity, your faith, whatever's going on in your life. We could pray, whatever you want to do. That's what this show's about. It's about you. If you don't like going in that way, you can always use the QR code at the top left. Just go to your phone, click on the camera function there. It'll bring up a link. Click the link. It'll take you right in. Very simple, folks. Today we're talking about surrender. Surrender. Luke chapter 9, verse 23. Take up your cross daily. Now, daily means when you don't feel like it, when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable. Daily surrender means choosing patience when frustrated. It means choosing integrity when pressured. It means choosing truth when hiding is easier, choosing discipline when tired, and choosing obedience when uncertain. What you won't release, you will repeat. So next week we have obedience, and then we have sacrifice, and then resurrection. Surrender, obedience, sacrifice, resurrection. Now let's slow down one more time. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to? Why? What is it costing me? What would I change if I let it go? Now stay there. Don't rush this. What am I holding on to? Why? What is it costing me? What would change if I let it go? And you have to be honest here with yourself, folks. You don't, I mean, honestly, look, you've got to be completely honest here, because we're good at deceiving ourselves as well as we are good at deceiving others, and making ourselves believe that, oh, it's okay. I can do this. I can handle this. When in fact, you can't. And you're not doing a very good job of it. And you're failing because it's not meant for you to do. God wants to be a part of your life. He didn't just throw you down here and say, have at it. Do it, sink or swim. He wants to help you and guide you and take care of these things that he's meant to take care of. That's what the faith is about. That's what surrender is all about. I think the hardest thing about surrender is we hear God, even when we don't want to hear him. We don't want to hear what he has to say. And oftentimes that's true. We ask God for advice, or we ask God to help us through something, and he offers his solution, and we don't like that answer. And that's where it comes in. What do? Do you go with what you think is best at that point? Or do you go with what God thinks is best? I'm going to tell you, talking about it that way, it's a pretty simple answer. And that's go with what God wants. Because look, he's got your best interest in heart, and he knows how to get you there. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's jumping out into the unknown. Yes, it's unfamiliar. But life is not meant to be comfortable or familiar or even not even known. Every day should be a new challenge. If you're sitting in life and it's comfortable, and you're just sitting back and enjoying it pass you by, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're here on this earth for a reason. And I do believe that reason, very clearly to me, it is that we're here to learn some things. We have to learn those things before we can move on to the next chapter of our lives. After this world, we leave our bodies behind and our spirit moves on to what I don't know. I can't tell you. I've never been there. But I know that it's something we do learn, and we keep learning. And every day you learn, and you don't quit learning until the day you die. You don't quit learning until the day you die. I mean, think about it, folks. No matter what you're doing, you're learning something, hopefully. I'm learning how to keep chihuahuas quiet. I hope y'all can't hear that. All right. So I've been through that twice already. Boy. Okay. Surrender. That's my take on surrender. We'll have a little prayer about it at the end of the service, and we'll close it out that way. We've been to the calendar. What's coming up? We've got Holy Week in just a couple of weeks. Let's see here. Let me pull this up real quick. Holy Week starts on March the 29th. That'll be Palm Sunday. And today's the 11th. So just a couple of weeks away, folks. March 29th, Sunday, March 29th, 2026 will be Palm Sunday. Easter will be on Sunday, April the 5th. Early this year. I don't know if you know it or not, but the Easter holiday that we have is based on a lunar calendar. So that's why every year it's a little different. It's based on what the moon is doing. So that's why it's sometimes very early, sometimes it's later. This year it's very early. So get ready because it's coming. Let's see. It's not often you catch me when I don't have much to say. I mean, we've been through all that. It's pretty familiar. Nobody's calling in. Don, where are you? John celebrated his 63rd birthday. Our good buddy, our elder here at the church, John, celebrated his 63rd birthday this week rather. And very happy for him that he had that. And then we're happy that he's still running circles around me. Don is 10 years older than me, and I've known him for over 30 years. And I tell you what, he's always run circles around me. You would think he was 10 years younger than me. So a belated happy birthday to you, Don, from all of us at Your Path. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and if you know me, you heard me talk about my Aunt Patsy. My Patsy passed a few years back, and her birthday was on St. Patrick's Day. She would have been 99 yesterday. 99. She died when she was 93. So she would have been 99 yesterday. I wish she was still here. I wish she was still here to celebrate with. But she's in a place that hopefully a little more comfortable than this, because life is uncomfortable. Here we go again. It's full circle. It's not about being comfortable. It's about jumping out into that unknown and learning, and not about being familiar, but being unfamiliar. It's just strange the way God has created us. You know, we have these natural instincts and wants to be familiar and be comfortable and and when I tell you up here online and tell you on this crazy big bishop over here telling me, oh, no, you don't do what your instinct's saying. You go the other way. You know, you give away what you have. You don't keep it. You don't, because our instinct is to keep. It's to be selfish. When I'm telling you, no, give your stuff away. Be a minimum for others. Give your talents and your abilities and your money. I'll give it away. Give it to others that need it. And I'm telling you that you're supposed to be comfortable in life when all we want to do is sit back on the lazy boy and watch, reruns of Life with Lucy. That would be the life. Just sit back and relax and have your TV dinner. And that's not what it's about, folks. Okay. I'm working on some new stuff. Oh boy, Munchkin's just going crazy tonight. He's not happy with me. I'm working on some new stuff for. I found some cool stuff I just did today. I want to see if I can play this for you. Let's see. I know I can play a chihuahua barking. Check this out. These are new drops I'm working on. This one is for these are two for the show. I haven't been using them tonight yet because I'm not real familiar with them. But check this out. Here, listen to this.
This is Your Path Live with Bishop Mark from Dallas Universal Life Church in Dallas, Texas.
I said it all.
What do you think? Too much? I think it's I like it. I like it. It's cool. This next one will be when we come back from a station break or a commercial. Here we go. Check this out.
Turn it up.
Welcome back to Your Path Live with Bishop Mark, live from Dallas, Texas.
Let's go.
Let's go. What do you think? Okay. I like them. I think they're cool. I'm working on those for that, and I'm also doing some new drops for our radio show on the Zoo on Friday, which should be fun. And I promise I'm going to have some new ads and stuff. You don't have to keep watching the same ad over and over every week. I'm working on it. I'm only one man We have a television network, we have a TV network, and we have a radio network, and we also have church, which is, every day. We don't have church every day, but, I'm a bishop every day and have to deal with that and have to deal with chihuahuas barking every day. So, that's just part of life, I think. Okay. I'm not going to go anywhere because Don always calls in late. Otherwise, I would end early today because we're done. We're not always done, I guess. There's always more to say. So, let's see. This is what it would look like if I didn't have a topic to talk about and I was just waiting for you to call in every day, every week. Just like this, twiddling my thumbs. You can't see that here, twiddling my thumbs. So quiet here. Hear that? That's perfect. That's what the studio is supposed to sound like. All right. Let me see if I can bring something fun up here. That's the one thing I want to tell you about. I have a new album coming out this weekend on Saturday. It's actually, on Saturday, midnight Friday, called, Clarity by Mark Zorn. It's available on YouTube, on Apple Music, on Spotify. Check it out. I promise there won't be any chihuahuas barking in it. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but he's just not happy with me right now. Yeah, there he goes. Good old Munchkin. Anyway, check that out. It's called Surrender. It's called not Surrender. It's called Clarity by Mark Zorn. I'm gonna see if I can bring up a song for you and play it, if it'll let me. See if I can do this real quick. It might let me. I think it's gonna work or not. I have to probably download it over here, but let's see if I can do it. Bear with me, folks. Let's see. Where I have it. Oh, I've got it. I've got it here. No, I've got it over here. Here it is. Let's see if I can find a song that I would like to play for you. Let's see this one. See if I can probably let me pull this one over. It might be too big. Probably is as a WAV file, but we're going to try it anyway. And music. Please work. Let's see. There, right there. I'm going to play it. Open. Yep, this is too big. Dang it. Oh well. I tried. So you just have to wait till Saturday. Just wait till Saturday. Because I don't think it'll play if I do it this way. Let's see. I don't think you can hear it if I do this. No, you can't hear that. Well, you might be able to hear it. You might be able to hear it through the microphone. Okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe you can hear that. Let me show you that. I'll play part of this, one of these songs for you. Here you go.
Here I am again, same old coffee cup, same crack in the ceiling, watching the dust float up. Unpacked my questions, lay them on the floor. Is there anybody still knocking at my door? Back at square one, spinning in circles. Is there anyone left out there for me? Am I too old now, too weak, too simple, too quiet in the ways I like to be? Tell me I'm not permanently single. Tell me there's a heart that fits with mine. Back at square one. Maybe that's where love can start this time. Friends keep getting married, frames on every shelf. I keep buying house plants, talking to myself. Hey, am I too set in my ways, too honest on my face, or just the kind of puzzle that needs the right mistake? Back at square one, spinning in circles. Is there anyone left out there for me? Am I too old now, too weird, too simple, too boring in ways I like to be? Tell me I'm not permanently single. Tell me there's a heart that rhymes with mine. Back at square one, or maybe that's where love can start this time. Maybe I'm not broken, maybe I'm just rare. Maybe all this waiting means you're almost there. Back at square one, spinning in circles. Somewhere there's a someone built for me. I'm not too old now, not wrong, not little. Just learning how to love the parts I've seen. I'll be stuck, permanently single. I save a little space beside this life. Back at square one, till one day you're walking into a
Okay, so what'd you think of that? Yes, first it's the first time it's ever been played on the air, so you guys were exclusive tonight. So that was a special. That was kind of cool. All right, folks, we're getting kind of the end of this here. We talked about some very important subjects today. And I think it's important as we go through our LinkedIn journey here that we continue to remember these topics we talked about every week. And now, of course, we're going to talk about surrender tonight. Next week is obedience and sacrifice and resurrection. That brings us all the way to Easter. So let's go ahead and ask these questions again of ourselves. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to? And why? What is it costing you? What would change if you let it go? Now stay there. Seriously, don't rush this. I want you to think about it. What am I holding on to? Why? Why am I holding on to that? Why? What is it costing me? And what would change if I let it go? Okay. Those are tough questions, but they're questions that must be answered in order to move on here. You've got to surrender. This is one of the hardest things I think any person has to do in their faith, is be able to surrender and let God take over. But trust me, He knows best. He has your best interest at heart. He's not going to abandon you, and He's going to keep trying to get you on that path, on that straight and narrow. I just call it straight and narrow, but my path's kind of gone like this, but just keep you on your path to where you need to be going so that you can be doing what you're supposed to be doing. I can't tell you what your path is. Only you and God can talk about that. I don't know. Sometimes I have trouble finding out what my own path is. So talk to God, pray, listen what He has to say back, and follow His advice. Honestly, folks, I mean, you're not going to always agree with what He says. In fact, most of the time you're not going to want to hear what He says because you don't want to do it. It's what you don't want. But in the end, it's going to get you what you need. Okay. So next week, make sure you join us. Like I said, we'll be talking next week about, what did I say? Obedience. That's a tough one too. Obedience. Obedience? I'm going to obey someone? What do you mean obey? Obedience? I'm my own man. I can do whatever I want to do. Okay. See how far that gets you. Obedience. And then sacrifice the week after that. And of course, resurrection coming up after that as we get ready for Easter. Don't forget, folks, coming up this Sunday at 3 p.m. on Your Path, this weekend at 3 p.m. on dulc.online.church. At 3 p.m. Sunday, we'll have Exploring Your Faith Live with Bishop Mark. That's our Sunday service. And then following that will be the Bishop's Roundtable at 3 p.m. Shortly after the 3 p.m. service. Also, coming up this Friday, we have the official starts the weekend with Bishop Mark. That's on our radio network, thezoo.net, thezue.net. That's at 5 p.m. Central Time on the Zoo, thezue.net. It's just a nice way to kind of bring in the weekend and let the week go behind you and move on, and kind of just relax a little bit. I'm DJing with you and DJing for you, and it's I enjoy it. It's a time for me to also relax myself. So hopefully that kind of passes on to you. And then of course, next Wednesday, I jumped around there, but next Wednesday we'll be back for Your Path Live with Bishop Mark. Like I talked about, we'll be talking about obedience. Let's close it out today, folks. I'm going to say a prayer, and then we'll say our final goodbyes. And I do appreciate you being here tonight. So if you would bow your head with me as we pray and close this out tonight, folks. God, we are holding on to things we were never meant to carry. Tonight, we release them. Give us courage. Give us trust. Give us surrender. Fully. In your name we pray. Amen. Folks, it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it tonight. I hope that your Lenten journey is on one of self-reflection, introspection, being introspective, looking back at your life, turning those eyeballs around and looking at yourself and taking that inventory of what's going on in your life and that you're doing things right. If you're not doing them right, I hope that you're working on changing that. I enjoyed it tonight. I will see you next Wednesday for Your Path Live with Bishop Mark right here at yourpath.online.church. Don't forget, this Sunday, come see me at church, dulc.online at church. Folks, it's been a pleasure. I will see you next time. Oh, wait, here's your good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for Your Path Live with Bishop Mark. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. God bless you.